Here we go.
Hello.
Right. Hello. Guys, let's have some love in the chat. For Meldj. Round of applause. Oh, do you know what? I feel like our colours are like really contrasting here. I feel like I need to go for like a blue though, so we're like red versus blue. I don't know where my remote is though. Hold on. I mean, let's do it for the sake of the podcast. Let's do it. It's not even worked. That's it. What a fail. Blue? Are we blue?
I love it.
Which blue's better? The dark blue? Let's go for the dark blue. Red versus blue.
Yeah.
I think my actual light's probably a little bit too bright anyway. So, welcome on.
Thanks.
How are you doing today?
Richards. Yeah, good man.
Good.
Glad it's Friday. Thank fuck it's Friday.
Yeah, that's fucking true, honestly. Even though it's been okay, I'm gonna, because you do office work, don't you?
Yeah, I do office work from home now.
Yeah, same. It's I love working from home, by the way.
Yeah, it's very helpful for content creators.
Yeah, it's also very helpful just...
That's all I'd say.
It's also very helpful just... I feel like I just get more done because there's less to distract me around, like, the office.
Yes and no. Yes and no. There's more to distract me in my house than there is at my office, or what was my office that is closing down now.
Oh, are they actually closing down? So you're actually going to be working from home properly?
Considering maybe a small serviced office, but...
Fair enough.
Looks like it's probably going to be mostly work from home, which suits me just fine.
Yeah, that's perfect. So what I was going to say was that don't bank holiday weekends, the week after a bank holiday weekend, feel longer than a normal week?
Yeah, sometimes
I actually feel like that, honestly.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. But, so what I'm going to say then is just introduce yourself. Age, name, location, whatever you want to reveal about yourself, and then I guess you can just say, as we just touched on work, just what do you actually do?
Yeah. Well, my name's Jake. I'm 28 now. Oh, that happened on Friday. Yeah. So 28, not 27. 28 now. I live in Hertfordshire. I work as a service delivery manager for a facilities management company, which is really boring. And then in my off time, I spend that mostly playing games, playing guitar, and now streaming and making content for YouTube.
Nice. I'm liking that. And so how long have you been playing guitar? I'm going to ask that because I actually play guitar myself as well. I don't know, Bobby does as well. We've had like 3 guitarists on so far.
22 years now.
Nice. And are you self-taught or are you taught by a teacher?
A mix. I was taught... sort of not classical guitar. I was taught on a 3/4 size classical guitar when I started when I was 6, but still learning like popular songs at the time, which is sort of like "Smells Like Teen Spirit" or
the general
"By the Way" by Red Hot Chili Peppers. Something kind of basic. So I had lessons for maybe a couple of years, 2-3 years, when I was sort of 6 through 9. Moved up to secondary school. What was that? I would have been 10 or 11. Didn't play at all. Didn't have lessons, didn't teach myself for a few years, just lost interest, and then picked it back up again probably when I was about 14 and was self-taught from there.
Nice. Like that. I actually didn't start playing guitar till I was like about 14, 15, and I didn't have any lessons whatsoever. I just self-taught myself. But I'm not like good. I like to play acoustics.
Yeah.
I can kind of
everyone thinks that, I think.
I've always been the sort of person. I've always been quite musically talented, so I can just pick up a keyboard and I learned to play just songs just by listening to it and stuff. But I've never really been interested in like taking anything seriously. It's just sort of like just a fun hobby for me. So I will just sit there and work stuff out, or I'll look up tabs and stuff and just play it from that. Just from the general stuff. What sort of music are you into?
Blues and rock. Kind of mostly. I mean, I'll listen to anything, I've done a bit of DJing in the past and stuff as well. I appreciate most stuff. But yeah, I'd say rock and blues is probably where core of it is. Nice.
And do you... I can't remember the question I was actually going to ask then about it. Do you like metal music, by the way? That's what I want to ask.
Yeah, I'll listen to a fair chunk of metal.
I've got some good metal songs.
Obviously, I know you're big on your metal every time I come in here.
Yeah. My theme tune is quite... I think I've got a DMCA 3 metal playlist if anyone's interested in that, which is kind of cool. I'll put the links in. I just realised that the stream title was all scuffed, so we'll just keep it off for now. So,
no worries.
So as a disclaimer, guys, by the way, this is going to be the last Streamer Source for probably a month now. I'm actually moving on to doing another podcast with some other people on possibly a Friday night, but it might be moved to a Sunday night. We'll see on that. But I just thought I'd let everyone know that before, like, the next time that we've got that going on. So you are the special last guest for now, which is quite exciting.
Hey, right? We like it.
So let's talk about streaming. That's the kind of like main focus of this, isn't it? Let's talk about what's like your favourite games to stream. Let's chuck that out there.
Sea of Thieves, obviously, is probably the first one people associate with me. Which is a strange one, you know, because I hated that game originally. I say hated. It left a sour taste in my mouth when I first bought it 2 years ago. I paid 50 quid for it, or whatever it was at the time on release. And at the time, I was probably one of the only people I knew that was still on Windows 7, but I loved Windows 7, man. I thought it was so reliable.
Are you on Windows 7 now? No, it doesn't exist anymore.
No. I'm on Windows 10 now, but I was on Windows 7 then, and I loved Windows 7, and I didn't want to go to 10, and I didn't realise when I bought Sea of Thieves that you need Windows 10.
Fair enough.
So I'd bought this game, I'd spent 50 quid on it, I installed Windows 10, which is just a ball ache in and of itself, right?
Yeah.
Then I played this game and I got in, and it looked great, you know? It looked lovely, it played pretty well, it wasn't particularly buggy, but it just felt really empty. There wasn't much going on, the content felt really lacking and repetitive, and after a few weeks I kind of wrote it off and was like, bored, kind of, you know, okay game, definitely not worth 50 quid, more of a maybe 15, 20 quid game.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, I started seeing it sort of pick up, and a lot more people are playing it. It's getting a lot higher in the ratings on Twitch. So I sort of started watching a few streamers playing it, and like they'd added so much content.
Yeah, one of them slow burner ones.
Yeah, 100%. So you know, over time they've added more and more. Yeah, exactly. And like they're not charging for any of the updates.
That's good.
If you bought the game at the beginning, you get every update that's come along with it free. So they've really like regained my faith now, and it's, as you know, it's like one of the main games that I stream. It's great fun, man.
Yeah, I've actually never played it. I've only watched a little bit. I watched James Buckley play a little bit of it. I've watched Summit.
Yeah, he plays quite a lot of it.
Yeah, he does. I think it's because it's like it's quite chill for him to play. I've watched him play Warzone, and he absolutely fucking hates it. So like honestly, he doesn't like being too much in the action. So I think like Sea of Thieves has got a good balance of chill and a good balance of like PvP and stuff in it, doesn't it? So
it's why it's a great game to stream, in my opinion. It's easy to just stop and flow with the chat for a bit, and then you can go straight back into whatever you were doing.
I find that exactly the same thing with playing WoW as well. Is I have like times where I can just sort of like I can bust out loads of obviously we know that I can chat a bit, and I can just generally chat and play, and then there can be periods where I can actually just stop and just be like, right, what's going on? But then when you play something like Warzone, or when I'm playing like Valorant, it's kind of hard for me to stop because I need to be on, because I'm playing like competitive. I have to be staying on.
That's it.
On time. Just gets a bit overwhelming, which is
definitely
kind of funny. So you released your first video on YouTube.
Yes.
Last week.
Yeah.
Was it last week?
Yeah, we could go.
It's about a week ago now, isn't it?
We could go yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember we spoke about it a little bit before, and I got a sneak preview, which was really, really good. I felt honoured to have had a look at it, and it's done really well, actually, hasn't it?
It's done better than I thought it would, definitely.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I've had videos like this at the moment as well, where I've just been like, oh, that's actually done okay. I didn't expect it to. Just like these podcasts, people seem to quite like these podcasts, you know. But that first video, I thought it looked so crisp and so good. I thought you'd done an amazing job, so I just thought I might credit you on that. So just get anyone in chat who hasn't watched Jake's video, go ahead and watch it. Well, after the stream.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
It's good. No, but
I learned a lot from it. You know, that was the main thing.
Right,
I learned a lot from doing that.
I'm going to talk a little bit about doing YouTube, because it obviously is quite new for me as well as you, and this is it's something that I think and I've discussed this with streaming. My pro tip that I always give if you want to get into this sort of thing is you need to. YouTube is mandatory. Like you can't really get away with not doing YouTube, otherwise, like your streams just kind of stagnate. I suppose almost. It's a lot of hard. It's a lot of hard work, isn't it? Just to prep for just one video, right? How many times?
Mate,
how long did it take you to record that?
I thought streaming was hard. Streaming is not hard.
No, streaming's easy.
Not compared to YouTube, man. Streaming is natural. You know, you're in the swing of things. You're just playing games like you normally would.
Yeah.
You don't. You know, if you're like me, at least. I know there are some people that maybe a bit anxious about being on camera or being live or whatever. But for me, I'm just being me and playing games.
Same.
Streaming's easy.
It's absolutely fine, isn't it? But then when you get in front of the camera and you need to record, you're like,
every detail matters, you know. So how long did it take to shoot that video? And what was that video? Maybe 7 minutes in length. And I think it probably took the better part of 2 hours, start to finish, to record.
Did you mess
setting up the room? It wasn't too bad. That first one, to be honest. I think actually what I did was I started it, and I realised that I didn't know enough of it. I didn't know it in detail enough. Yeah. So I said, okay, look, let's break for an hour or two. I'm going to go and read it or whatever for a bit, and we'll do it in sort of shorter sections for the take. And then the video is 6 or 7 minutes long, and I think from setting up the room, i.e. popping up a light, moving a couple bits around, and setting up a camera, to taking it all down again was probably about 2 hours, maybe a little more.
Hard work.
And I had someone helping me, you know.
That's crazy.
So. And then the editing was a whole different thing on top of that.
What did you use to edit?
Premiere Pro.
Premiere Pro, okay. I use DaVinci Resolve. It's a free product, it is.
Yeah. I mean, I would be using DaVinci if it wasn't for Rachel, who has the Adobe Creative Suite anyway. So that's why. Do you know what? I've genuinely
because like for anyone who doesn't know, I do all the graphics and everything for my stream, and I like a good graphic. So I was actually thinking of getting Adobe because I get Premiere and I get Photoshop. Right now I'm using a cracked version of Photoshop. Like the true PC player I am using.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Creative Cloud, which is now like the whole package of programs, which is Premiere, After Effects, Illustrator, all of that. I think you can now get it on a monthly subscription.
Yeah, it's a subscription.
So you could get it for like 3 months. Focus on content, bash out 10 videos in 3 months. You don't have to release them all, but get them all edited ready.
Yeah.
Cancel your subscription for the next 3 months, and
dude, life of a YouTuber is easy if you think about it like that. If you're good at creating the content, right, you could bash out 3 weeks worth.
Yeah.
3 weeks worth. A whole month's worth of hard work, and then just take the rest of the 6 months off after that because.
Definitely. And in hindsight, the more and more that I'm doing, having literally just shot my second video, or reshot my second video today, should I say?
Yeah.
Was that like half of the time is the prep time and the takedown time. So if I just prep once and record 3 videos, I've saved like a whole video's worth of filming time.
Quick outfit change, done.
Yeah, not even.
All the fun.
Wardrobe, my wardrobe's not too different. It's black jeans and black sheet t-shirts, dark coloured shirts throughout.
I think it was last week I mentioned saying that I did a photo shoot for my thumbnails for my actual things.
Yeah.
And that took us about an hour and a half, and I was just changing into different outfits, taking a load of different posy shots, and then put it back in.
Yeah.
And I've got loads of them, but I've used so many already. I'm actually surprised how many, because I've been releasing quite a few videos lately. But I have been focusing quite a lot onto YouTube. I don't really know how to progress it any further at the moment. I'm just kind of waiting for time to go ahead.
Yeah, it's
a weird one. But they say your first 1,000 subscribers is the hardest to get, so it's the hardest point. And then it snowballs after that, apparently. So.
Well, yeah, I don't really know how it works. Obviously, I know some of the things that make the algorithm tick, some of the things that it particularly likes, which I tried to play up to, but I do agree that there's an element of you have to found yourself on YouTube before the algorithm will start really considering you.
Yeah. And I think it's just a case of...
From my experience so far.
it's just a case of keep knocking on the door and eventually it'll open. I reckon. Like, just gotta keep getting it out there, and like, you never know. It could be like 3 months down the road, I reckon, and then suddenly like a video from 3 months ago will bang, and you'll be like, oh, what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing is for sure: not putting it out there definitely isn't going to get you 1,000 subscribers.
Exactly.
The only way to do it is to put the content out there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hardest thing for some people, is taking that first step. We're all sitting around waiting for some eureka moment of an original idea. And let's face it, original ideas don't really exist on YouTube. Most of it's already been done.
You can find anything on Google and YouTube, honestly.
Yeah, everything's been done and done again. You know, the point is to do it your way and to make it yours. And just stop. I think a lot of people do get hung up on like, oh, it's not very original, it's been done before. You've just got to do it. And more than anything, you'll learn more about YouTube making your first video than you will any other time. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. I think there's one thing that I'm starting to learn that I think is going to help me with, because my YouTube style is very different from the normal YouTube style. I'm not really going to be, I don't enjoy sitting here talking to the camera like that. It's really difficult for me. So I just cut up what I say on the stream and then just make it look and sound kind of interesting, I suppose.
Punchy.
But what I'm learning to do is kind of gain control of the situation before that. I'm like revealing my secrets here. Like, everyone's going to start listening out for it now when they listen to me. But what I'm doing now is staggering what I say and giving reasonable gaps between stuff so that I can stitch things together and make it sound differently. And I think once recording videos, I think that might actually be a good skill to learn, actually recording videos as well, because you can just take, and then you can just stitch it all together.
Speak just a little bit slower than you normally would.
Yeah.
To give yourself that extra half second to cut where you need to.
Exactly. Perfect.
You know what I mean? And another thing that I've learned as well is always hold your gaze with the camera just a little longer than you think you need to, because you don't want to be looking away at the end of every cut. Which is basically what I did in my second. Like, yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
So, thanks for watching. Bye.
Thanks, Jessica.
Jess, if you can find the video on YouTube and link it into the chat, that would be stellar. So this is mod work. Look, this is what you pay your mods for. So far, I pay my mods in love and kindness.
Yeah.
And that includes Maka. Do you see him banging on about Windows XP there? Look, Windows XP the best.
Yeah, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Windows XP top tier. Windows 7 right there. Windows 10 just below.
Yeah, Windows 10.
Vista's down the fucking bottom somewhere. That's in the bin. We can get rid of Vista.
Vista was like, I didn't even like. Oh, we used Vista. We had Vista when I was in uni.
I skipped it completely. Went XP straight to 7.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to have gone as well. So talking of PC stuff, actually, new 3000 series cards.
Love it. I love to hear it. I was so close to buying a 2080, probably around April time.
You're so close. I'm so glad you didn't.
So happy. I think
I've got a friend who has recently bought. In like the last few months, he's recently bought a, I think it was a 2080 Ti, which is actually, breaks my heart, because that new card I think it's the 3070 card.
Yeah, the cheapest one pretty much matches it.
Oh, no.
At $499 US. So is that gonna rock in like 400 quid, something like that?
Yeah, I think I had a look on Overclockers and it was like 440. Which means it'll come down in a couple of months, which is when I'd think about getting one. So hopefully, have a look into that. I've currently got a 1070.
Yeah, I've got a 1080 in mine, just a bog standard 1080, and I've had it a couple of years now. I don't know when they actually came out, but yeah.
Yeah, I got my.
Still works perfectly fine for me, man. It does the trick. And I will upgrade to the 3000 series. There's absolutely no question about
Probably a no-brainer.
I'm not in a rush. Oh, it's a definite no-brainer for anyone still on the 10 series. Unless you intend to not play games in the next 5 years, you're going to end up. It's a
future-proofing card as well. That's the main thing.
Yeah, it is. And it's the affordability. Oh yeah.
At a push, 10 years obviously, but five years, I'd say you get solid. And when you look at it like that, 400 quid for 5 years worth of kit, that kind of, and then you split it out, you think, oh, that's like 80 quid a year or whatever, or 75 quid a year, and it doesn't really. Then you think, oh, actually, that's an investment rather than.
Yeah, definitely. Like some people I know have definitely sort of regretted going short on their graphics cards before,
I think
having
that's
a new one
planned.
right.
Because my 970 blew up. When did it blow up? This year. At some point, it blew up. It just went boom. The motherboard cut out, and my motherboard fried, and then it fried my graphics card. But I don't actually know fully if the graphics card broke. It just doesn't work in my new system now when I test it. But I don't know if it can be fixed. So I do have a friend that I've been meaning to send it up to see if he can fix, and he said he would send it back down to me, and then I could just sell it. But one of my best mates actually he goes, oh, hold on, I think I've got a graphics card up in the loft in my old PC. I'll just go get it out and see what it is for you. And he was like, oh, it's a 1070. Do you want it? And I went, yeah, I'll take it. Hey, go on then. That'll save me some cash.
Yeah.
And I think he sold it to me for 80 quid in the end as well, which is obviously...
Bargain. That's good stuff. Yeah, no, the 3000 series is going to be great. To be honest with you, like I said, I don't need to upgrade. The main reason I wanted to upgrade from a 1080 to a 2080 was actually to make better use of RTX voice.
Oh, really?
Which is a fucking expensive noise filter, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you're big on soundproof, aren't you, with streaming? Well, I'm big on soundproofing it. I think audio is like a really key thing, and it's hard to get right. So anything that can help you is always a bonus.
Yeah.
Also, the encoding on the 20 series is just better than the 10 series when it comes to streaming.
Yeah.
Not that I'm struggling too much. There's the odd game where I have to lower the settings to maybe medium rather than high.
No,
and they're not particularly demanding games. They're badly made games.
Yeah. Do you use NVENC for your streaming?
Yeah. So
that's why I use.
Even though we're on the 10 series, it's still good. NVENC is still good on the 10 series, but the 20 series and hopefully I assume the 30 series have something called tensor cores, which are specifically there just to handle NVENC encoding, so you can encode at such a high quality without impacting your actual in-game frames.
That's good, because I feel like a lot of, especially with AMD's, because I've got a Ryzen 5, I think 3700 maybe in there, and the reason why I went for AMD is because I don't really have any plans to go on dual system to play, and I think I think that the future of components is probably good to be aiming at, especially with like you said, the new cards, to be aiming at single system streaming setups. I think it'd be wise to do that.
I think, in my opinion, that dual PC streaming setups will always be of superior stream quality. But I do not think that I think they're there for the professionals. They're not particularly budget friendly, are they, having to build a powerhouse twice? I think for your average streamer, one PC build is perfectly fine and probably definitely the way to go.
Yeah.
But for pros, I still think you'll get the best quality out of
they can afford it. They can't.
PC.
Well, I'll say they can afford it. They don't even buy it. They get things like NZXT or whatever. We'll probably just send them like a PC.
Oh yeah. So, well, you look at like someone like Sacriel, who's like right at the top of the Twitch game. He just gets his PC is. It's not worth, he says this, it's not worth anything, but it would cost £20,000 to build.
Yeah.
And he didn't pay a penny for it. But that's what it would cost if you went and got it built the way he had it built. It was just given to him by Intel, and he's got a whole video on how it was made and so on and so forth. But the bottom line is that CPUs actually encode for a stream far better than any GPU ever could. But they're just far more involved with the background processes on your PC. Hence, having the second PC, they'll have a weak graphics card in that compared to their gaming rig, and they'll have a strong processor to do the encoding, and they'll use X264 or H264 or whatever it's called to do the encoding via the processor on the second PC.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because like you think about it as well, and is it NZXT?
Well, the case guys. Yeah. I think it's NZXT.
They were saying that for every, I saw them tweet the other day and did a thing with Tim the Tapman and said that if for every win he gets in Fall Guys for the next 3 hours, they'll give away a free PC. Obviously, he's so bad.
Jesus Christ!
Even though he's so bad at Fall Guys, so they weren't going to.
Yeah,
true. They knew he wasn't going to get like 10 wins. They did it on Dr. Lupo. It would have been like 20 PCs out because he's. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I see Dr. Lupo's kind of like sprung up It almost seems like.
Mate, Lupo, I love Lupo. I think he's amazing. Yeah. He's so funny because he's one of those guys who's really calm and really nice, but he's also really friggin' toxic at the same time, and I love that balance.
Yeah, I know what you mean. He's I watched a lot of him playing Tarkov last year, and he always sat not that high up the directory, which I found a bit weird. But I think he's moved away from Tarkov a little bit now.
He has.
It seems to be working well for him. So.
Yeah, I think he's been playing games with all the guys again, like Courage and all of that. So I think they did like an Avengers ad this week, so they've been playing that new Avengers game. But it looks
you know what?
Okay.
I've not caught any of that yet. I'm not that hyped about it. I'll be honest. I'm skeptical.
I'm not a big single player fan anyway, but it looks kind of fun. But it also looks a bit like too linear, I suppose, and a bit repetitive, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of games which are like that now, I suppose. But
I'll tell you what I am going to do after we've had our chat here is I'm going to go and check out somebody playing the new Tony Hawk's remaster.
Yeah,
that I'm definitely very interested in. Yeah,
and that game used to, as like I don't even know how
old I was,
11 years old, but it used to send my blood pressure through the roof. Many Smash controllers over that game.
Oh man, that's probably one of the earliest games that I had that was my game. Do you know what I mean?
You could just play it for hours and hours and hours, right? Like the Final Fantasy games, I sunk so much time into those as well. But Tony Hawk's and FIFA, every time they came out, I was like, yep, getting in, doing that.
Tony Hawk's, Pro Skater 2, soundtrack was amazing as well.
Oh, it was.
Great game. Much nostalgia.
I think there's a Real Big Fish song on there as well, but that's one of the songs which I'm trying to remember. Proper iconic. I'm going to get the soundtrack up later and listen to it, I think. Classic.
Yeah,
did they keep the classic soundtrack on there?
I have no idea.
Oh, they have to have.
No
surely.
idea.
That'd be good.
I don't know. I feel like they'd struggle. They'd get charged like through the fucking mouth for it. Like, yeah, people get greedy, especially when it comes to like a reboot like that. They'd be like, no, I want my chunk. I was a big part of the original game.
Yeah.
It's probably easier just to get a new bunch of
upcoming artists.
Exactly.
Yeah, probably is. But along the same kind of like genre, so it's probably keep the same feel. They could probably get away with that, I reckon. What did you think of New World?
Oh, I didn't actually play all that much of it. I only played what you see me play on stream, which wasn't that much.
I haven't got around,
and obviously it stops tomorrow. I enjoyed it for the brief period that I played it. I will say that I think with myself and most people, for most MMORPGs, we all hate those first 10 levels. I think we all hate, getting into the game, getting through the dialogue, doing the tutorial, doing the run here, run there.
That seemed long as well on New
It
World.
did seem long, but I will say that I felt like I enjoyed it more than I did with any other MMO.
True. But I felt like that was just the game, though. Like, I think it obviously it needs fleshing out, doesn't it? Right?
Yeah. That's the big thing, right? They need to flesh it out. Yeah, the combat was good, and that made the go here, kill this quest feel a little more interesting. I can't really pinpoint exactly what it is that makes me feel like it was a bit more enjoyable than the other MMOs that I've done, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
I think it was probably the combat is the main thing.
Yeah.
So if they really polish that combat up. And I think another thing is a lot of the MMOs that I've played are quite old now. And this is new, it's fresh, it's got up-to-date graphics, good animations. Whilst the game felt a little janky at points because it's still in that early phase, you could see that it had a lot of potential.
Yeah. And like that's the thing, like all these other MMOs are so similar to WoW, and WoW just does it better than the others. WoW kind of owns that style of MMO. I'm not just saying that because I'm a WoW player, but I'm just saying
it does.
There's
no dispute in that it's the biggest.
It's just
MMO
so refined compared. But then even WoW's combat's kind of outdated, but they could never change it now. So WoW's
in a tricky place. Like it will never be. I feel like WoW will always not struggle to get new players. That's the wrong term because they will always attract people in. But
I agree with you.
They'll never broaden their net.
No,
is a better way of saying it.
Same,
they'll never capture more people next year than they did this or the year before or the year
Steady
before.
Eddie.
It's the same thing they've always done, and they'll get the same share of the market that they always do.
Yeah.
I do feel like WoW could be possibly the biggest game in the world ever, if they wanted it to be. If they had the guts to potentially upset their existing customer base at the potential of exposing themselves to everybody with a fresh, updated game and a model that's not £12 a month or whatever it is, then I feel like it could be the biggest game in the world. Yeah. But
they could release.
They have their niche. They have their niche, and they own it. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I was trying to say. They sort of own that style of MMO play. Very much belongs to WoW now, and all the other ones which come out that implement exactly the same, similar kind of static. It's almost like static combat, but not. Yeah. Whereas New World differed because it was almost like playing Dark Souls. I want to say a little bit more similar to that. Yeah, and I think more MMOs should look to incorporating this kind of skill shot, because like when I was using the bow, I felt quite good because it was like playing an FPS game as well. And I was getting rewarded for hitting good shots, which would make skilled people who play Arch as well would be really skilled in playing it.
Exactly. Yeah, there was no tab aiming or anything like that. You had to actually aim all your shots, and that felt really nice. Not just stand there and press 1 every second just to fire off an arrow or whatever. Exactly, and that felt really nice compared to the other MMOs that I played.
And I think Ashes of Creation is going something similar to that as well. But I think what them two games at the moment are trying to encapsulate is the kind of building those settlements, right? I felt like you were contributing to something. And I quite like
this seems to be a big theme. Because there's another MMO in the works that's in some kind of closed alpha or beta phase at the moment called Fractured, which was a Kickstarter campaign, something similar to that. And the idea is that the world is extremely dynamic, and all the players' choices affect many different things in the world, like pollution levels and so on and so forth. There's taxes, there's settlements, there's cities that you join towards, you elect governors. Very similar kind of feel to some of the mechanics in New World. So it seems to be a bit of a thing that a few studios have grabbed onto and that they're all running with. So it's be interesting to see who comes out on top. Probably New World, because money.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos, really, isn't it?
Pretty much.
I think that's also exactly the same as Ashes of Creation. What they're trying to promote is no server will be the same, because every single decision from every single person that they make along the way, and every single bond that they forge, will change the world, and the world actually adapts and changes around those decisions. And once it's done, it's done, and then every single server will be different. What I do want to say about all of those, though, is they're actually bringing the MMORPG back into MMORPG, right? WoW isn't I don't even want to call it an RPG. Yeah, there's no RPG.
It's an MMO game. That's it. Yeah.
It is. It's almost like exactly. You just play a character, which keeps the RPG. That's the only RPG factor you have in it, is you play a character.
And this is what I will say is like the disappointing part of WoW for me is, again, it has all of the technical ability of any MMORPG game, with none of the storytelling, none of the graphics, none of the animation. And that's really my biggest gripe with it. It could be a fantastic game, but I understand that it also can't be, because the millions of people that play it and love it would hate it if it was anything other than what it is.
It is what it is. 16 years old in November. So the game is so grandfathered now that I don't think it could go back to being this kind of like work with your friends to do things story game. I mean, they've got Classic WoW out for that now. That's how they've kind of got around it, I guess. I think Blizzard is just looking at it now as, right, because they're basically the whole leveling system. They just overhauled the whole leveling system for the new expansion, and it's just instant pretty much. You get to that max level and it's all about the end game now. So I guess
it's
they've taken out the
Diablo.
RPG and they've just
it's more of an MMO dungeon crawler.
Yeah, and that's exactly it's a team-based one, because you need to kind of have a team to do it, really.
You have to have a comp to do it.
And then they have PvP as well. It's kind of just like, I suppose it is what it is. But WoW, they couldn't ever revert back, I don't think. Like you said, I just don't think it's in their blood anymore. They'd rather probably make a new MMO and try and challenge all these other ones, and probably
they'd have to go completely off hook. They'd have to keep WoW running, but then they'd risk potentially taking some of their own customers away from themselves, which sounds like a weird thing to say.
Yeah, it's a weird kind of concept.
If there's a one company that I know nowadays is driven by nothing other than money, it's Blizzard and Activision. I used to love Blizzard. I used to rate Blizzard as a studio so very highly.
And then they become Blizzard Division.
But not anymore. Not anymore. I'm afraid.
They made
a lot of missteps. A lot of missteps in the last couple of years. And,
trust me, I play a Hunter, and right now we're like literally always on the forums fuming because they don't give a shit about our class right at the moment. They have these threads that they're on the forums which are suggestions for what you want, and they're ignoring every single bit of feedback. Every other class is getting good feedback and they're implementing stuff, but it just seems with like one or two of the classes they're going, nah, we like it how it is. Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's tough. At the end of the day, they're the devs and it's their game. It's the hardest thing. Like, well, this is the thing, right? Whenever I play any game, even no matter how many mods you can have on it or whatever, I always play it vanilla for a little bit to see how the devs intended it to be. Yeah. I think that's something that's worth knowing. So right now, it's as the devs intend it to be, I guess, like it or not. But my issue, I was just saying, my thing with Blizzard goes beyond WoW as well. There's just a few real bad things that they did with the whole. Did you see the Diablo announcement at E3 last year?
Yeah.
With the mobile thing.
It appealed to some people, though, to be honest.
100%, but it wasn't their core audience, and it certainly wasn't a headline announcement for Blizzard fans.
They weren't happy with it. Overwatch 2,
and the way more importantly, the way they handled it, which is really bad. With the guy's response with, what, don't you guys have mobiles? And it's like, you need to stop and listen to your audience right now.
It's such a Blizzard response.
It was such a Blizzard response.
It's working.
That's the only way I can phrase it now. Yeah, it's working how we liked it, so
whatever.
Basically.
Are you the one with the money? Are you making the game? No. So just listen to us and keep paying a subscription fee.
Yeah.
It's pretty much Blizzard in a nutshell. But you know what? I blame Blizzard for every game that doesn't work at the moment. So if something goes wrong in Valorant, I'm like, fucking Blizzard.
Fucking Blizzard.
They're probably at the root of it, aren't they?
Most likely, yeah.
So what do you? We'll veer away from games and stuff because obviously this is what we do, don't we? We stream, we game, we make content. This is like our life now. So what other hobbies do you have other than playing guitar as well? I suppose.
Well, guitar is between gaming, guitaring, streaming, and making YouTube videos. That is most of my time. Obviously, like to spend time with the girlfriend. So cinema is normally pretty high on our list. We're both pretty big film buffs.
Like a good cinema trip, but it's been awkward at the moment, hasn't it? With everything.
Well, it's been even better recently. I learned. I mean, I went to the cinema for the first time last week on my birthday. I think actually it was. Yeah, it was the day of my birthday.
I didn't even know.
And we went to see Tenet, the new Christopher Nolan film.
Yeah.
And it was dead. It was brilliant. There was no one there.
Oh, that's nice.
It was great. I loved it. Film was average, but like going to the cinema when there was no one there was just like brilliant.
We've got Showcase Cinema here. Do you know the So what I love about Showcase, other than the fact that you get a reclining chair that's motorized, is the fact that everyone's actually very spaced out and you can't see people in front of you or behind you. It's kind of like a lot more personal.
Yeah.
That's what I love about that.
That's pretty cool.
Because I'm not getting audience stuff anymore. I hate like being near people.
Yeah.
It's so old now.
Well, yeah. I mean, cinema-wise, we've got a little local one near us, a little local independent.
Oh, nice.
It's amazing, man. It's brilliant. The films come out a month later than they do on general release in the other cinemas. But you go to Cineworld and it's like 11 quid a ticket.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a Cineworld. You go to the Rex, which is our little local independent, and it's like £7.50. The seats are like twice as comfy, or you can pay, I think it's like £8.20 or something, and you get to sit downstairs with a table in like a proper armchair that's swiveled, and
that's sick.
And you get table service from the bar behind you.
That's actually
bring you cheese and crackers.
No, that's like being in like an all-inclusive holiday.
It's amazing. Can't experience cinema any other way.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. I wish we had that. I was gonna say I usually get the Showcase one a bit cheaper because I get NHS discount from it, which is kind of
right.
Which is kind of nice. I mean, it's still expensive, but it's.
Well, I can't believe that our local independent's cheaper than a Cineworld.
Yeah,
I don't get it. You know.
It's probably because they pay a lot less for the movies because they're coming out later.
Getting them late,
so they can afford to do it.
So.
It's probably the system. I mean, I suppose that is. If you want something now, you pay more. That's kind of the way the world works, isn't it?
Yeah, true. Yeah, very true.
No, and obviously, I guess you watch like a lot of Netflix and stuff, right?
Yeah, we've got all the streaming services, all of them.
I can
now.
never find anything on Prime. Not gonna lie.
Sorry?
Weird. I can never find anything on Amazon Prime to watch, which is...
Yeah, we're the same. Prime's not that great, but we've got Prime anyway for the Amazon side of it, you know? So by default, we end up with video. Yeah. But then we've got Netflix tied in with Sky, which is a good little deal. We actually managed to save some money getting Netflix via Sky. Already had Prime. What's the other one? Now TV is Sky. We did have Now TV, but we cancelled it for Sky and Netflix in a bundle. And then we bought Disney Plus last week because Rachel wanted a Baby Yoda. And I said, you can't have a Baby Yoda because you've never seen Star Wars and you'll never watch them. And she agreed to watch all 11 Star Wars films in order to get permission for a Baby Yoda. So now we have a Baby Yoda.
And she's watched all the films. Jess tried that.
We're up to 5. We've got 6 Mandalorian, 7, 8, and 9 to go.
A Mandalorian, it's good. I liked that.
Yeah,
I love Star Wars. I think Star Wars is good. Jess doesn't get on too well with sci-fi. She doesn't enjoy space very much. It kind of boggles her brain. I think it is a lot to comprehend for some people. I know a few people who actually don't like space and then refuse to watch sci-fi films and stuff because they just don't care for space. Whereas I love it.
Yeah. Well, I will say that generally speaking, the modern space films I'm not too big on. I thought Interstellar was pretty good. Gravity seemed a bit, I don't know. Yeah, I can understand it. It's it's an alien concept, isn't it? I guess it's hard to relate to.
It's just too big. That's the comment. It's just too big. It's hard to imagine something infinite, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Never ending.
Get your head around it. It's crazy.
That's good. Okay, I'm going to ask the money-winning question now. I'll ask everyone. Because this is streamer source, we need some source from the streamer. I need to give me your best advice, your best piece of advice you would have given you before you started streaming to now.
You're going to have to give me 30 seconds to just have a think about that, because I'll take a question like that very seriously. The best piece of advice I could have given myself when I started streaming was, this is going to be a hell of a lot harder than you think it is. This is probably the easiest, but you know, you'd have to deliver it in a way where someone's going to listen to you, because you know what it's like. You get advice from someone, you go, yeah, sure, I know best. No, listen up. If you're going to do it and you want to take it, but don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with doing it and having fun with it and just going with it.
100%.
If you get the passion and you want to take it, like I do want to take it to the furthest reach that I can, it's going to be bloody hard work, mate. And you better realise it sooner rather than later. I honestly feel like I wasted the first couple of months of my time streaming.
But then,
in hindsight,
to flip that on its head, it's probably not wasted because it's experience that you've learned.
Oh, 100%. 100%. No matter when I start streaming, I'd always have to go through those 2 months to learn that those 2 months were a waste. Unless I had someone to come back and say to me, it's going to be hard. This is not worth it. This is how you need to approach it.
Yeah. I've always had my key ethos that I've wanted to have, and that's having consistency, and having not being like fake or anything like that. And I've had like my key elements that I wanted to keep for going forward with my stream that I've kept, and like I just find that the rest of the ethos that I have is kind of adapting as I go along now, because I'm trying things and I'm like, that's not, I don't enjoy doing that, and it's not perhaps like trying to do an actual YouTube video. I was like, it doesn't work for me. Maybe I can do it in a different way, which is why I tend to do these talk show things on Friday. It provides me with my sort of like just chatting content as something that I'm probably okay with, and it works for me. Like if I was thinking back to when I went, I need to make a YouTube and I'm going to start doing videos, I thought I was going to be like this professional YouTuber that was going to sit there and look good, and it was going to be really like clean and really crisp and nice, and I was going to nail it, and it was going to be nice and easy. But then I adapted that, and I think if you are prepared to adapt, It's an ever-changing industry anyway, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you gotta be prepared to change no matter what. But I think I still keep my core ethos.
Right. Yeah, you can keep the core values of your brand is what it's about. It's not so much about the stream; it's about your brand and what you or what Danimal stands for.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I can definitely see that.
I think we've seen the Danimal come out a few times and something like that.
Yeah.
It tends to come out.
The other thing is that
playing Warzone is the one thing that brings it out most, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, in terms of like the best piece of advice to give yourself as well, I would also say I think there's an awful lot of really shit advice out there. Like really bad. Just the worst that I see all the time is, just keep grinding, it will come.
Grinding is the worst word.
No, it won't. No, it won't. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. I promise you. Like, and if you're happy with what you've always got, then that's fine. Keep doing what you're doing. But if you're looking for more, you need to do more. Always.
Grinding. Like, there's a couple of phrases that I really dislike. Grinding is definitely one of them. And I know I've used the hashtag sometimes as well myself, but small streamer really kind of annoys me as well, because small stream is kind of belittling almost to yourself if you think about it in a way. I maybe prefer the word amateur streamer or just streamer, not mainstream streamer.
Just a new streamer.
Or
the term I use in my profiles is aspiring Twitch streamer.
Yeah.
I mean, I am a Twitch streamer. Might not be the biggest one, but I aspire to be a Twitch streamer, like a big one. A name that is synonymous with Twitch.
Yeah.
So that's how I bill it, if you like. I kind of agree that small's not the right word. To some people, they love your stream, and you're their favourite streamer.
Yeah, well, that's nice. Also goes past being actually called streamer as well, when actually really you need to be content creator and content provider, I suppose. That's
100%.
There's many aspects. I think that's a lot of people. This is what I'll probably tell myself as well. There's a lot of different aspects to it than just pressing go live and sitting there and accumulating as many hours as possible. I've managed to stream 6 hours a week consistently, without getting pneumonia and without taking a holiday. I've managed to stream 6 hours at least a week consistently, between 6 and 9, I suppose I'd say, on consistent days as well. And I have changed my time. Like, I used to start at 7, I now start at 8:30. But like,
how have you found that change? That 7 to 8:30?
I think it's done better for my viewership in terms of people come along and pop in a bit more, and I think it's easier to manage life like that as well. I think it was more to do with like, it was nice to not finish work and then have to get everything done before 7 and then it's go live and then it's the whole evening taken up. Whereas now I can just sort of, I've got everything working like clockwork now. I'm a big shortcut taker, if that makes sense. I like to get as much prep done so to make it as easy as possible. And now just when it gets to 8 o'clock, I just sort of sort everything out. Do make mistakes still, but if I've got from 4 till 8 then to just chill and do whatever, which is cool.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, so it's those kind of things that, like, I think people don't realise that it's when you're an aspiring streamer.
Yeah, there's a whole lot to consider. It's just so much.
And the main one's just have fun, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're not enjoying it, what's the point? Don't get me wrong, I don't enjoy it 100% of the time, but as long as I'm enjoying it more than I'm not, which I definitely am right now, then it's something I'll keep doing and I'll keep pushing forward with. And it changes. I've never been one of those guys to take a photo of my food and put it on Instagram until I had an Instagram, do you know what I mean, before Twitch, and and then you need some content for it and you're like, fuck, what do people put on Instagram? Fucking pictures of their food.
I think I just use
but I'm breaking down that wall now. I'm getting a bit more used to it. I'm getting rid of my own snobbery to Instagram. I used to be like, Instagram.
Man, Instagram's good,
but it's an essential thing, man. It's an essential tool that you need as a content creator. And if you've got a tool for content creation, you need to be putting content on it. So, it comes with lifestyle adjustments as well, for sure.
Yeah. And that's not just for yourself, I suppose, as well. It's for, I know that Jess has to deal with me doing stuff to stream all the time.
Yeah.
It's like on my brain. But then, she's a teacher as well, so she's got a lot she thinks about. So I suppose it's a similar kind of thing when you're thinking about school. People do it at work. If you've got a career, you usually think about your career, right? Whereas I don't necessarily have a career because I go to work and then I come home and then that's it. I can forget about work. But with a career, you kind of have to keep thinking. And I suppose that if streaming was ever a career, then that would be the same thing, wouldn't it? You're always thinking about doing stuff.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing, I think for most people that are taking their streams seriously, whilst they are very acutely aware that it's not their career right now, because it doesn't pay the bills, given the choice, it absolutely would be. You know, and most, I don't know if most is the right word, but I feel like a good chunk of us are people that go to work because we have to pay the bills.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think many of us are in our dream jobs, and you know, this is ideally would be the career, and probably, honestly, gets more of my time and attention than my full-time job does. So,
I think it almost allows it though. Like, there's not much I could do outside of work to affect my job. So really, those 37.5 hours a week that I work at work, kind of, I just go and do. Like, I almost like kind of switch off in a way, because I've done it for 3 years, so it is what it is. It is easy. It's in front of me. I know what I'm doing. It's just kind of it's like going to sleep, really. Like you go to sleep every night. You go to work every day. That's the kind of thing that you go. So you kind of subconsciously get into it. Whereas with a career and like a stream with a career, you would always be about it, even when you're sleeping. Always be about it. I can tell that already because I do think about a lot of things when I'm like, I have to write stuff down, otherwise I'm gonna be like, oh god.
Oh yeah, I forget everything. I forget everything. My memory is absolutely, by and large, my biggest weakness ever.
Yeah.
I write everything down. If it doesn't get written down, it's not getting done.
It's a skill that you need to have in life, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like an honest one as well that I'm not too worried about. Like when I go to job interviews or whatever and they ask that dreaded strengths and weaknesses question.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, my memory's shit. And they're like, well, that can't be good. And I'm like, well, I write everything down. I've got reminders and calendars. You know, at least I'm acutely aware of how bad my memory is and I can combat it.
Yeah, exactly. You can come back with saying that. It's like saying, what's the key thing that you say? I'm too much of a perfectionist.
No, come on.
I'm too
interviewing
much of a
people, and if I hear, oh, my biggest weakness is that I'm a perfectionist. My biggest weakness is I work too hard. I'm like, get out.
Shut up.
Get out.
No one wants to work that hard. Come on.
No one wants to work hard for their money. You know, we all want to work smart. We all want money. Some of us want to work hard to further our careers, which makes sense, you know.
Some of us want to sit here and read donations after donations and just get money for being me.
Exactly.
No, it takes hard work and dedication to get to that area. I think this has been one of the most interesting sources actually so far. I've actually enjoyed having a chat tonight, to be fair.
Well, thank you very much.
Guys, if you want to check out Meldj, by the way, I think see, look, I'm good at updating my Nightbot now, sort of. I think I did that weeks ago, to be fair.
Cool. Okay, that's smart, because then you don't have to do shout out and their name. You just go straight for their name.
Yeah,
I think that's better. I like that.
You've got to kind of set it up with the links and stuff like that, but I haven't got like a shout out thing, so I can't just go like SO anyone in the chat, so it won't work like that. That's actually set up on Nightbot, where I do have a specific, like my this is
that's cool.
shameless self promote. Look,
Oh yeah. Okay,
it's just one of those.
I thought you had that so that if you did exclamation mark and then any username, it would be like follow this username at their stream address.
Maybe you can get one that does that, but I guess
you probably can. You probably can. I'm working with a buddy of mine right now on a custom chatbot. He's a quality assurance and coding whiz.
Nice.
Works for a mobile games development company, and he's currently helping me with a few things that I want to get done that other bots aren't doing right now.
That's good. It's always good to think outside the box, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Love it. Well, we'll look.
And it's nice to have people like that are, you know, good with that kind of thing, because I'm not.
Yeah, like I got a guy that I knew who could do music and recording, and he does it all by himself. And I got him to do the actual theme tune to my stream, so because I wanted a bespoke like theme tune, I wanted to have my own intro music just because of DMCA stuff and that.
You wanted to write the theme tune, sing the theme tune.
The theme tune. Right, guys, can we have some hearts in the chat for Meldj, please? It's been a great episode of Streamer Source today. And thank you for coming along.
Thank you for having me, man. It's been good fun.
No problem. Guys, check him out. And everyone who's watching on YouTube also do the same. And follow, I'll put the YouTube links and everything all into the comments so you guys can all follow it, okay? Right.
Good man.
Peace out, dude.
See you later.